on, YouTube? So today we're going to do a budget-friendly food prep storage video. So I am on my way to Walmart right now, and I am looking to spend $50 or less on a decent amount of food, and then take it back and get it in Mylar bags with the oxygen absorbers. And I kind of will show you how that whole process goes. I'll see you in Walmart. What's going on, YouTube? Mile High Prepper. I am back from the store, and I have all the stuff here that I got at Walmart today. So I spent right around $48 after tax on all this stuff. I got canned fruit, 4 different cans of canned fruit, 2 cans of black beans, 2 cans of corn. I got 4 cans of chicken. I got 2 4-packs of tuna, 2 things of salt, a thing of oats, a bag of flour, a bag of sugar, a couple pasta sauces. I got 2 boxes of macaroni and cheese, and I got 3 boxes of just noodles. And then I got pinto beans and rice. So that's everything I got for $48. And this is what I do about once a month, maybe twice a month, just depending on funds, because I am on a budget. And so I like to do a little budget-friendly food storage. And I know it's not the best food, and I would rather go with freeze-dried. But having any kind of food storage is just a really good idea. For the first 10 years I prepped, I never really had more than a week of food on hand. And lately I have been focusing this last year, like I said in a couple other videos, on physical fitness and food storage. Those are my 2 main weak points that I had. Food storage is probably the top weak point that I had. And then also I do have a weak point with water storage. I do have a couple 55-gallon drums that I intend to use as rain catchment systems, and we'll get into that in a different video. But today I wanted to just do a budget food prep video for you guys. It's pretty cheap. and stuff that will last a while, like canned food, obviously, as long as it's stored properly, you can eat it past its expiration. I've seen a lot of people show proof that there is really no expiration to canned food as long as it's stored properly and is not damaged. With that being said, all the dry goods I am going to bag in Mylar bags for us today as well. And so let's get started on that. So Mylar bags, I like to go quart size and gallon size. I do have some 5-gallon bags, but I prefer the smaller ones because if you have a 5-gallon bag of rice and you open it up to get into it for a meal, if you have to move or if you plan on not reusing that same bag of rice right away, then it's just open and susceptible to all the elements. So I figured if you go quart size, that's enough to feed my family with rice anyways, probably 2 meals a day with a family of 4 with how much rice you can fit in a quart bag. So that's why I go smaller bags, and it's also a lot more mobile. I could pull it out of my 5-gallon buckets or my tote bins and stick it in bags if I need to, and we can leave that way just in case I don't have a way to carry a bunch of 5-gallon buckets and a bunch of tote bins that weigh 50 to 90 pounds. So yeah, let's get into it. So oxygen absorbers come in a vacuum sealed bag, obviously. I have a mason jar here, just an old pasta jar that I have cleaned and it's been dried out. And I will open my oxygen absorbers and put those in there. Well, that way it doesn't take in too much oxygen while I'm bagging everything. Also, I like to seal my bags with a hair straightener. I just use my daughter's or my wife's hair straightener. That's how I get my bags sealed. They do Ziploc as well, but I like to Ziploc it and then I like to seal it with a hair straightener. So we'll get these guys in here and then we'll start bagging stuff up. I'll probably move the canned food forward so it's not quite in the way. So I have room here. And this is going to be the first time that I am bagging up mac and cheese. I figured I could just throw the noodles in there and even the cheese packet, throw that in there and throw an oxygen absorber in there and see how that goes. All this other stuff, the canned food and the pasta sauces, you know, that all is rotating. So even though, yeah, you could eat it after expiration and everything, I get stuff that we eat and we rotate through it. You know, every couple months or so, we'll just keep rotating. Whatever's expires first, we'll eat that first. So that way I always have a rotation going of the things that do expire. But I mean, worst case scenario, I do have a few canned food goods in my tote bins that I probably won't touch. They will just strictly be for emergency, just in case. You never know, and that way I have them on hand. All right, so let's do something easy. We'll start with the pasta. Just dump and throw an oxygen absorber in there. After I seal it up, I do like to label it with the month and the year before I put them into 5-gallon buckets. I don't have my 5-gallon buckets up here right now with me, so I will end up putting those in the 5-gallon buckets or my tote bins later. I do need to buy some more tote bins as well. I think the bigger they are, you can stick more in there, but they just weigh a lot. So I usually I can typically fit a whole bag of noodles. It just depends on what size pasta you got going on. Penne looks like it fits pretty well. And I kind of take my oxygen absorber and I'll kind of just shove it down somewhere in the middle. I don't think it really matters where about you put it, but that's how I like to do it. So we'll get this going. I like to kind of flatten it out a little bit before I get my label on there. make sure it's sealed. And then I have just these stickers that come with the Mylar bags. You can find Mylar bags pretty cheap on Amazon. I will link those with my affiliate link down below in the description as well. But about 20 bucks, you can get a couple hundred Mylar bags. So it's not too pricey, but I do understand when you're on a budget, it's hard to find the time and the money to do all this. So what is it? August 08/24, and then I'm going to put penne on it, and then I'll just set that aside. Actually, I forgot to put my lid back on here. I will probably seal it now. Should be hot enough. Oh yeah. So just take the straightener, run it above the Ziploc and seal it shut, just for some extra precautions. And we'll set that aside. And we'll go ahead and do the shells. I believe shells will fit as well in one bag. It's more the bigger pasta like rigatoni. Oh, I guess I didn't get rigatoni, but rigatoni is pretty big and it does not fit all in one go in a quart-size bag. So usually I have to split. I'll get 2 boxes of rigatoni and split that between 4 bags or 3 bags. So we'll do some shells. So I want to go ahead and talk to you about why I started prepping, because my reason is pretty unconventional compared to a lot of other people's. A lot of people, I'm sure, had something happen in their life where there's a financial situation or a house fire or many other things, natural disaster that made them decide that they wanted to start prepping. Well, for me, my mom did prep for Y2K, and I feel like that's kind of where I got this from a little bit. But for me, it all started with Walking Dead, watching The Walking Dead. I started prepping in about 2011, and I was like, oh, I'm going to start preparing for the zombie apocalypse. Obviously, I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I figured if I was prepared for the zombie apocalypse, that I would be prepared for pretty much any situation. And I was wrong about that, but that's how I started on my journey. So I started building a bug out bag, and then that's kind of where I sat for a couple of years, was just getting better and better bug out bags. And that's why I have so many bags. You'll wait and see how many bags I have. I've given away probably a dozen bags, and I probably still have a dozen bags that I have in the garage stored, and only 4 of them are bug out bags for my wife, me, my 17-year-old, and my 8-year-old. So other than that, there's just bags that just sit there. I do use bags for hunting, and obviously I've had a gym bag and a camera bag and just a lot of bags. I have a thing with bags. It's kind of my problem, as I like to collect bags. But yeah, so I started by preparing for the zombie apocalypse, and that's what I started my prepping with. And then from there, I went from, more natural disaster stuff. We don't really see too much of that in Colorado, but lately we have been having these fires, so, it's definitely a new thing for me to be worried about forest fires and stuff. But we don't have hurricanes and earthquakes like other people on the coasts do. So I, prepped more for like snowstorms, stuff like that. So that's why I always only had about a week of food on hand. And my plan was always to bug out. And now with the current situation globally, I have decided that it was time this last year and a half, I decided it was time to start focusing on food and water and doing all that stuff, because if I have to stay in my house for a couple of weeks, then I need to be able to keep my family living. So yeah, that was my main reason for prepping, and then I moved on from there to more of a EMP type scenario, and now it's just kind of general preparedness for as much as I can. So I got kits that we'll go through. It's like my nuclear attack kit, basically. If we were to be nuked, with all of our gas masks and Tyvek suits and stuff like that in there, and just a whole bunch of different kits that I got in different tote bins, kind of dependent on the situation of what possibly could happen. So with this one, with Rotini and the shells, I have a little bit left of both of those, so I will probably just mix those together. I can feel my oxygen absorbers already heating up, so I gotta move with the quickness here. But yeah, so that's kind of why I started prepping, and then I finally decided about a month ago that I wanted to make a channel. I know it's not going to be the best channel out there, but I figure if I can spread any kind of knowledge and any kind of ideas to people on how to prepare and what kind of stuff they might want to start with and what kind of stuff they need. I mean, I always tell anybody that does ask me, I tell them to start with bug out bags, just in case you need to leave your home. And then from there, as well as being a priority, is obviously food, water, shelter. So I would say that I would go with food and water storage after that, and then go from there, and then focus on quality and not quantity. That's my big thing, is I was buying cheap bags and cheap gear for a good 6-7 years before I started putting my money towards more expensive stuff. And it takes a lot longer when you're on a budget to buy that nice knife or a nice silky saw and get the top of the line stuff, but it definitely is worth it. I've taken a lot of things camping and hunting and stuff like that that have not been the best quality and have broken and didn't work. So I now try to focus on quality. If I have to wait a little longer to get it, then so be it. But I do focus on quality gear nowadays, and I hope to get some good reviews going for you guys on some gear. And if there's anything that you'd like to see, let me know. I mean, I'm willing to show and share any kind of gear I have and any experiences. If you want me to go freaking spend a night in the woods or 7 days in the woods, let me know. I'll try to work that out and make it happen. I bet I could get my 8-year-old to come with me on some of these journeys. She loves being out in the woods with me. She's definitely my little go-to prepper buddy. That does it for the pastas. I'm just writing what I need to write down for each of them and the date. I just write the month and the year. I'm pretty sure I already said that, but I just do month and year, and that way I know when I should rotate through it. All right, so salt and sugar. From my knowledge and from what I've watched and then learned on YouTube and blogs and stuff, is that with salt and sugar, since they're like a crystallization, you do not want to put an oxygen absorber in it because it will cause it to clump up. So I just throw it in the Mylar bag, seal it up, and call it good. I forgot to seal this. So anytime I do sugar and salt, I just throw it in the bag, and I do not put an oxygen absorber in there. Now flour, I do, and usually I put bay leaves in flour and rice and stuff. I don't have any bay leaves, so I'm just kind of doing this one for you guys to show you how I do it, how I go about bagging my stuff and what kind of items I get when I do this. But yeah, I normally do bay leaves and the oxygen absorber in my rice and my flour for pests and stuff. So yeah, so we'll bag up the sugar and the salt and just throw those in there without oxygen absorbers and go from there. We'll move on to the beans and the mac and cheese and the oats. I realized that oats is a really good prepping meal. It has, I believe it has more protein than, yeah, 5 grams of protein per serving. So that's definitely more than rice. Rice doesn't really have protein that I'm sure of. But oats are definitely a good way to go. Oh, we gotta bust out the knife again. One of my favorite knives. I like OTFs. I work as a mechanic basically, and on like heavy equipment, and a lot of times I only have one hand to do things with, and I like to just have an OTF on me so I can fire it and put it back in without having to use both hands. So I did get, this is the first time I've ever gotten plain and iodized salt. I normally do iodized salt, but I figured I'd try getting a couple plain ones as well, so I might as well, just in case. I know that salt is definitely going to be important, especially if we don't have power to cool our meats, so we can use salt to preserve our meats if we have to. I do have a hunt coming up in October. I got a hunt in Wyoming for antelope, and I got a hunt here in Colorado for elk, and I do intend on filming those for you guys. It's not going to probably be like a 5-hour long video, but you know, just a little bit of kind of B-roll of walking through the woods, and then maybe once I find something or spot something, then I'll start filming again and see if I can't get it on camera. I have been hunting only about five times, and I've only ever gotten one thing once, and that was 2 years ago when I went on a elk hunt, or no, antelope hunt, sorry, in Wyoming. I went on an antelope hunt in Wyoming, and it was my first time ever getting an antelope, and it definitely was an experience. I've never shot an animal before, so I didn't know what to think, and I was definitely hesitant and shaking a lot. I actually don't know what happened, but this antelope wanted me to shoot it because I had 3 shots at her, and I missed. And then she was right there within 10 yards the whole 3 shots, and antelope are pretty skittish, so they take off running a lot. Well, she just stood there. I missed her 3 times, and then she finally took off running, and I was leaving that area, and I was driving around the hillside, and there she is just bedding. And so I got out of my truck, and I crept up the road and took a knee, and I finally took a breath and stopped freaking out so much, and I was able to put her down nicely in a good place shot, and I was very excited and kind of sad at the same time, but it is what it is, and it's a skill that I wanted to learn and needed to know how to do. So if I'm ever in that situation where I have to feed my wife and my 2 daughters, I know how to do it. So that's why I decided I wanted to start hunting. And it's just fun walking through the woods. I like being in the woods as much as possible. So I love being outside. I love camping. I love hiking. Obviously, I mean, Colorado, what can you say? Got the Rocky Mountains right here, so. All right, we're doing the plain salt next. I'll probably label it plain because I don't know if I'm going to keep going with the plain salt or not, but we're going to do one plain salt. I'll probably get another couple plain salts as well, and I always get about pretty much the same stuff. Not exactly everything's the same, not the same fruit, not the same vegetables. I switch out which vegetables and stuff I get in the canned foods, but I do primarily go dried pinto beans, dried black beans, and sometimes dried red beans or kidney beans, and then rice. I usually get a 20-pound bag of rice and I throw it in the freezer for a day and then let it, come back to room temperature so it kills all the bugs in it. Seal it up. I like to kind of shake it around because I tend to lay my things flat in the 5-gallon bins. Oh, okay, we're good. So I do have some other videos coming that are going to be more prepping related, as well as instead of shooting videos. I mean, I know everybody likes the shooting videos. It seems like that's where I'm getting most of my views, but I am going to do some more prepping videos here. I just got to plan it out on how I want to do it and how I want to go about that. I do have an EcoFlow solar generator. It's just the Delta Mini, and then I have a Champion dual fuel that I want to go over. It's a smaller one. I have my whole house hooked up to a transfer switch in the back, and I did have what was it? I think it was like a 7,500 or 9,500 watt dual fuel, but I ended up selling that because I wanted to get more of an inverter type that's quieter, because those bigger ones that are not inverters, they're like really loud, and I would like to be as quiet as possible and before I start building a box for it. We gotta label this as well. Salt plain. All right, let's do some oats. I've never done oats, so we'll do some oats real quick. I don't know if I'm going to post this entire video. We're looking at 26 minutes right now, so we'll see. Unless you guys want to watch a 35-minute video from me, I'm totally down with that. I can't complain, you know? All right, so I'm hoping this whole thing of oats will fit in here. That way I can do all 8 bags, 1 in each. Oh, it's going to be a tight fit, guys. 1 pound. Should actually work. Let's see here. Empty. Boom, baby. Looks like we're pretty close. I don't know if you can see inside that, but right about 2 inches from the top. So I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to go ahead and do it like that. Hopefully it won't be too full. Let's grab our oxygen absorber. Man, you sure can tell when they're starting to activate because they start getting warm. All right, let's see here. Try to close this guy up. Boom, 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 boom. Flatten it out. Shake it around. All right. $8.24. Oats. All right, yeah, I do have another five to 8 things of oats left that I'll do later, but I just wanted to show you guys one because I've never done the oats yet, and it was part of what I spent less than $50 on today. So under 50 bucks, I feel like I could feed my family with all this. I feel like we could probably get 4 days to a week, depending on how sparingly we ate. Obviously, like rice and beans, like 5 pounds of rice, I know a lot of people like to get the giant bags, and I mean, I normally get at least 20-pound bags, 20 to 25-pound bags, but I've gotten a couple 5-pound ones recently because I do have a lot of rice. But it only takes, what, a cup, maybe a cup and a half to give you enough rice for a meal, 1 meal for a family of 4. So let's do some pinto beans. I got a 1-pound bag and a 2-pound bag, so I didn't know. I thought I grabbed just 2 2-pound bags, but we'll see how much we can fit in here. I always take the bottoms, open it up as wide as I can because it's easier to sit down. Stick it in here like so. About right there. It's a little bit more than half. I mean, I probably could get it all in there if I really wanted to, but I like to have a little bit of space so they can close and be flatter so I can stick more in my bins. Grab an oxygen absorber. Stick that down in there. I like to squeeze as much air out as possible as well when I seal it. It doesn't take as long to soak up all that oxygen with the oxygen absorber. You'll notice, like, when you do this, as you get further down the line, the first couple things you did, you can see them start to kind of shrink in a little bit. You can see the Mylar kind of form to the product of whatever you're bagging. Pinto. All right. We'll probably stick the rest in this next one. Did I seal that? I don't think I sealed that one. I'm pretty sure I've missed a couple. Works the best when you seal them with the straightener. I feel like it's the best way to do it. I know my wife probably doesn't approve of it, but that's why I'm using my daughter's straightener. As long as I don't hold it on there too long, I shouldn't melt any Mylar onto it. So yeah, if there's any kind of videos that you guys feel like you want to see from me, just let me know, and I have no problems with interacting with people commenting and stuff like that. I obviously am not top of the line prepper here, but you know, there's certain things that I still don't even know at all, and there's definitely skills that I want to learn, like a lot of more medical based skills would be nice to know. Unless you have somebody you know that is in your family or in your group that's a nurse or a doctor, then you're sitting pretty. But there's a lot of things that I've learned, you know, just over the years mechanically and building, construction style stuff, just over the years of wanting to DIY my own stuff. That's basically how I learn new skills. Is I got to have something done and I don't want to pay for it to get done, so I will watch YouTube videos and figure it out on my own. All right, let's just do these mac and cheeses real quick. I bet I could fit both of them in there, because I don't know if I want to waste that little space in my bag, so I'll probably put them both in there, and if it ever comes to a time where I need it, then just dump half the Mylar out and call it good. Because there's no way this is gonna be hardly any of my quart bag. Oh no, I spilled some. Man, you could put 3 freaking macaroni and cheeses in there. So I feel like my next video after this one is probably going to be maybe another gun review video. Maybe my F1 AR, or maybe even a BP-12 shotgun. But I was also considering doing a I have a JCon X Hunter e-bike, so I was thinking about maybe doing one on that. It has a flat tire right now because I tried to ride 20 miles on the road and got a flat tire. It was the first time I ever took it out for a long ride. I think I maybe have 28 miles on my bike and I got a flat tire and I haven't replaced the tire yet because it's a rear hub motor. So you have to take the motor off in order to replace the tire or the tube in the tire, I believe. So I'm just going to take it in, pay 40 bucks and get it fixed. But I was thinking about doing a review on that next. I don't know how many preppers out there agree with having an e-bike on hand and as part of your preps, but it's kind of where I went with it, went that route. And also, like I said, the EcoFlow solar stuff, that's another good thing. Like, I mean, I could probably end up using my EcoFlow to charge my e-bike if I need it and stuff. So my plan was to keep my e-bike in my truck and the battery to it in a Faraday bag or a Faraday cage, and that way if there was an EMP I could ride my e-bike home. But I just don't feel comfortable with keeping an expensive bike in the back of my truck with something that can just get shattered and stolen. So I decided to take it out and gonna leave it out for a while. I was thinking maybe just throwing a pedal bike in the bed of my truck. Mac and cheese. All right, so we're almost done, guys. I won't even do all the rice. I'll just do a couple bags of the rice till I'm out of oxygen absorbers. And actually, I think I only got 2 left. So I'll do the rice on the next one, or not at all. I mean, obviously I'll do it off camera, but I'm sure there's so many videos on how to do the rice. Like I said, I like to take the rice and put it in my deep freezer for 24 hours, and then I let it sit out at least another 24 hours, because sometimes you'll get quite a bit of moisture buildup. So I'll let it sit out room temperature till it dries out, and then I will throw it in my Mylar bags. So we'll do the rice later or not at all. We'll do sugar and flour, because I really don't want to open a whole new bag of oxygen absorbers when I only have a couple things left. 50 bucks. I spent $48 today on all this stuff, which is quite a bit of stuff, surprisingly. But imagine what I could have got for 50 bucks 10 years ago or 20 years ago. Could you imagine what you could get 20 years ago for $50 at the grocery store to do this with? It would be insane. All right, so sugar, no oxygen absorber. You don't want it to clump up and crystallize. I just put it in the Mylar bags because why not? It keeps it out of the light, out of the elements. So I feel like it can store much longer. Obviously, my sugars and my salts I'll probably rotate through as well. After a year or so, I'll start rotating through them maybe. So I started doing this about a year ago. I actually started getting a food storage going. And sugar. And I have yet to dip into anything other than my canned foods and pastas and pasta sauces. And I have probably 10 boxes of 12 packs of ramen. Kids love ramen. It's not the best for you, that's for sure. But hey, it's food. It can help. Salt, it's got salt in it. Help you keep hydrated, hopefully. Hopefully not too much that it's going to dehydrate you, but who knows. Zoom in here a little bit more now that we're done with most of the stuff. Oh, we can't get this one apart. Come on. All right, I'm gonna have to grab a different bag. Oh, there it goes. Boom. Got her. She's apart now. Finish off the sugar right here real quick. Ooh, flour's gonna be a messy one, guys. Last time I did flour, it was definitely a mess. I don't actually know if no, I've done flour. I've done flour, pancake mixes. Pancake mix, I'm a little worried about on how long it could be good for, but I'm going to test it out. Look at it in a couple of years. See if it looks like it's still usable. Sure, it will be. Sure, 90% of the stuff we buy is fine, especially with all the additives and all the freaking pesticides and stuff they use and stuff. I'm sure. It's like if you take a McDonald's cheeseburger and you set it on the freaking plate and just leave it there, it just looks the same always for a very long time. And yet I still eat it because I am the most unhealthy eater you'll ever meet. It's surprising because I did say that I've been focusing on physical fitness, but my diet, I don't eat a whole lot of really good stuff for me. So I'm hoping I don't have a heart attack in my 50s, but that's also why I decided to focus on physical fitness as well, because my daughters are going to be gone one day. I'll be 44 when my kids are both gone, and that gives me plenty of time to get out, travel the world. I want to go hike. I want to go freaking backpack around Europe if I wanted to, and I just want to do a lot of things, and so that's why I decided to focus on that in this last year. Enough about that. Let's keep going. Let's get to the flour, the worst one. Let's see, I can't remember what I did last time. I think I just opened a little corner, tore off a little corner of it. And it kind of helps make less of a mess. There we go. 43 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna do one flour for you guys, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get off. And I think once I get done editing, it will be a lot less, but I do have some footage of me at the grocery store, so we'll throw that in there, but I'll probably cut out a few things in here just to make it not so long and tedious for you guys. So I take that corner off and dump it in my Mylar. There we go. I think this could technically fit about 3. I'll just keep the rest for cooking now. All right, oxygen absorber. Boop-a-doop-boo. Throw that in the flour. I wish I had bay leaves to do this as well, but I don't. So we'll see how this does. Maybe I'll check on this one in a year or two and see what happens, see how it looks, see if there's any difference, if there's any bugs in it. I feel like flour's not as big of a deal as the rice. The rice definitely is a bigger deal when it comes to your little buggies in there. But I have heard and seen people say that there is, they have seen bugs in their flour as well. So 824 flour. All right, guys. So that's my food storage video. Like I said, $48 got me everything that you saw here on the table today. Mylar bags, about 20 bucks on Amazon. I will link that in the description down there. That's the only thing I'm going to link. I mean, I might link a hair straightener for you guys out there that, I don't know, maybe you're single and don't have a woman's straightener that you can use. So they work excellent for that purpose. Like sealing Mylar bags, that's the best thing you can ask for. I'm sure there's high-tech, pricey things you can buy to seal Mylar bags, but why not go with something you already have or something that's cheaper? But I will see you guys on the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I hope to hear from you guys on what videos you would like to see from me. I would like some feedback on what kind of stuff you would like to see. I know a lot of my shorts and stuff have been focusing on firearms. It's just quick and easy. I can just pull it out real quick and take a little sample of audio from somebody else, a different short, and then do that. But yeah, just let me know, and I will see you guys on the next one. All right, see you later.